everyone. This is Dr. Samuel J. Lombardo, the Soul Mending Alchemist, world renowned, trademarked. I am also the Executive Director, CEO, Connunciere, Agent, Coach, and Consultant for SL Models and Talent Agency LLC, Fashionista Studios LLC, Auto Scala USA LLC, and Couture Designs Photography, or Fashionista Studios LLC as well. Well, apparently, not that I want to. I'm not actually on the live tonight to do any reads. I actually wanted to pop one for a few minutes to kind of give you. I have some announcements that I wanted to make and see if you guys are actually interested in it. And in fact, let me do some. I've never done this before, so give me one moment here. For some odd reason, it's strange. Mercury retrograde's been very, very strange in its doings. I don't need to retouch anything. I was going to. Oh no. No, 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 no. I don't want that. Okay, well, what just happened here? Okay, there we go. I backed out of it. Well, I was going to uh, try to put an announcement up, but I'm glad I'm figuring this out before anybody gets on here. Um, I don't even know what the. Okay, now there's random stuff that's happening. Now I don't even know what's going on. Anyways, sorry about that for those of you that might be popping on here later to want to watch this video. So I do have a few announcements that I wanted to make with you. I got about 40 minutes. It's been a busy day, but I did want to talk a little bit about what I have been doing because this is the line of work that I do when I'm not doing my spiritual work. Um, and I will tell you that Mercury retrograde is having a blast with me because literally, for God knows what reason, I don't know how in the world this thing. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm just trying to figure out how I can get it back to the radio and to turn the phone off so I would have like the backup because I don't need that. Well, in any case, I guess you all going to be hearing me. Hello, hello. How are you? I apologize. I'm over here trying to figure this thing out about the car thing because I've been traveling and been doing a lot of stuff. So tonight, if you are expecting a read, it's not really about that. I'm actually spending 30 minutes. I'm going to be giving some announcements. And so, thank you for tuning in, Lily. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Hello, Rosita Gomez. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Wow, there is actually a good bunch of you here today. Jessica Wood, Carson 2.0. How are you all doing? Thank you for tuning in. So, today I wanted it to actually talk about a spiritual retreat in Costa Rica that I'll be doing in 2026. That's why I'm on here tonight. Um, it will be all inclusive. It will be 2 weeks. And if you are already a reader or if you're a healer or you got your business, it's not just me that's going to be doing this. It's a retreat to basically, hello, how you all doing? I am having an amazing life. Very busy, but amazing. Um, so the spiritual retreat will have all of the main component. It's going to be helping to market. It's going to be helping to certify and also further develop skill. So if you are a spiritualist of that sort, so we'll have those, and it would also include Reiki session, lots of yoga and exercises, sound bathing, healthy food styles, etc. So there's a lot that will be happening, and this is going to be in September of 2026 in Costa Rica. It will be at the retreat center, and I'll be bringing more information about that. Hello, Joseph. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Do you charge money for your scam? Do I'm confused. Um, I don't know if that's supposed to mean, are you asking, is it a scam, or if you're telling me that it's a scam? But in any case, no. In case if there, uh, this isn't. I do this. This has literally been my life for a while, but it's actually the first time that I'm doing a Costa Rica retreat type of program. Now, I do know of people that we need to be careful of that will try to sell us, quote, retreats and things like that. But that's not what this is. This is something, I'm actually a certified travel consultant. So I book all these things. And so there's room for up to 50 people. Okay. And there will be a website that you will go on to where you will be able to through the travel agency to be able to book for this group event. So this isn't like a Dr. Samuel Lombardo Soul Mending Alchemist retreat. This is more or less um, you know it's more or less for the group, and it is through my business channels. Also, I do have a small group of people who are spiritualists as well as even Christian who really thought that this was a great idea, and so I'm taking a stab at it. And I've decided, okay, well, we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, so Well, I know how to read. I'm not on here to read tonight. I'm on here, as my title suggests. I am here to talk about the retreat and other announcements, which is what I am allowed to do on my channel. But if you are confused, I don't mind answering any questions. And hello, football. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the likes as well. I will be doing a live tomorrow night, though. I wasn't even planning on coming on at all tonight. I just decided, well, I was excited. So I just wanted to bring that out. So the spiritual retreat, also, how I have it set up, is it provides tours in the rainforests, the cities, the mountainous areas, as well as the beaches. So everything is pretty much all inclusive with that. Um, all of the food is also included, but now the food is a little bit different than what is going to be. It's not the burgers and the fries and that kind of thing. They're going to be healthy drinks. They will be made by the actual cooks at the Costa Rica resort. Okay, so there's a little bit more information on that as well. So that is one of the major reasons why I'm on the live right now tonight. The other reason is that, and that's why I also hashtag models, is because one of my businesses, which is why I don't have all the time to do the reads, because I also have other businesses that I do. Okay, and I have the right to do them. And one of them is called Fashionista Studios. It is based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, as well as Grand Rapids, Michigan. And what Fashionista Studios does, it is a training agency for new and prospective models and talent. Um, and yes, I'm getting ready to hear this one too. Oh, you gotta be scanning these models. You know, I actually do have a download about um, people as well as agencies, but I'm really not on here for that, and it would take up a lot more time than what I even have, because I gotta be off of here in literally almost 20 minutes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just give it to you straight on what Fashionista Studios does. Fashionista Studios, besides the fact that you know that it's a training agency, it also provides resume building and all of that, which is actually inclusive with a lot of the different services that we have. So you're not paying for resume services or networking and things like that. What you're paying for are the actual services of which you would commonly think, okay, what common sense that is. What you would typically pay for when you are dealing with that, and that is your training and also your portfolio shoots. So what I decided to do was create an idea of how it could be inclusive and still be a benefit for in a win-win situation. So the Fashionista Studio portfolio packages, they will all get free hair and makeup services for 4 changes. The 1-day training for portfolio is $500 to get you ready for the photo shoot, to include wardrobe, hair, and makeup tips and runway training. Now, what this is actually saying, and I don't have to defend myself in what this is saying, but I'm just going to say it anyway. What this is actually entailing is that before the photo shoot, what I have decided to do is provide an opportunity for a 1-day training that would help you understand the poses that you need to do for the training, as well as I've given you about 2 to 3 hours of my time on runway training. Okay. Again, if you are a model and you already have the experience, then unless you really want to do additional training, then this really isn't for you anyway. This is beginner's level for those who actually are trying to get a break into the business. Okay. So while I am in the spiritual business, so I also am in the industries of the entertainment and fashion industries as well. So what I'm providing is 1 day of training and pose training, okay, for 500. That is for my time, and that's for each individual. Now the following is the packages to move forward in your modeling and talent career that can include, network opportunities. Okay. So our portfolio packages actually start at 450. Now, why do you have to invest to become a model? Like, well, actually, I don't even like it questioned that way. What's the importance of the investment to become a model when you are not a model? Uh, there's a few reasons behind that. And so I'm going to share them right now. One is your face is not out there. And for you to get the real people to actually see what you are doing, you need to be able to show that you can do what you're claiming that you can do. Okay? So, in other words, if you're saying to Ford models, oh, I'm a model, and you never modeled before, but you don't even have a photo shoot or at least a portfolio to prove to them, then how are you going to be successful in the business? Okay? And some of these places you need actual experience for anyway before you could even sign with them. So that's why Fashionista Studios is here for you, because with me, and yet it's going to be hard for you all to believe for some of the haters out there in the back seat. Okay, for me, I am actually a model myself, but I have also been working in the entertainment and fashion industry for over 20 years. That is my industry. I have worked with various agencies. I've worked with various festivals. I got the certification, okay, for many different projects, project management, etc. You know, I'm sure that there are probably others that are maybe even better than me. Okay, I'm not saying I'm the only one in this industry that would do anything such as, okay, but this is by far the most competitive when it comes to training agencies, because I am taking the competition of what others would be doing, and I'm looking at what is missing and why that is important. Okay. So, like, for example, networking opportunities. That's important. It would be my responsibility to provide you not only the training, but to put the money where the mouth is, and I bring agents in and you meet them, etc., right? And then it would be then up to you if you wanted to apply to those agencies. Okay, so that's one of the things. The other thing is that there are clients that would be interested in wanting to work with you. So these would be like paid gigs, okay, that come from time to time, even to the training agency. Also, I have another company called Artist Gala USA, and you heard that back in the introduction. Artist Gala USA has uh, four components to that company. One, it is going to develop the first ever I'm not saying that it is, and I'm not saying that we're completely there yet, but there is no fashion model industry union. We got the SAG and AFTRA, we got the AEA, we got AGMA and all that, but we don't have anything that supports the models. And I'm not going to tell you everything about the reasoning behind, but I'm going to give you two main important things that most models are looking for, besides job security, which would actually be number one, but number two, which is actually tied, is this issue about people assuming that the porn industry is the same as the fashion industry, and it's not. So those are going to start changing, okay? And how we need to present ourselves professionally in the business, okay? So, and then there's other guidelines for the union as well, but it's being developed whether we like it or not, unfortunately, because there is to that. And then there are associations that that Artist Gala USA is going to be that is already starting up, actually. And these associations have what is now the third component of Artist Gala USA, and that is the best practices, advancements, curriculum, and accreditation and certification processes for agencies, training agencies, conventions, as well as um, clients within the entertainment or fashion industries. Okay? I'm just waiting for one duck to line up, and that has something to do with television and that kind of scenario. But I think that once that gets through, which I feel that it will, because we have a specific guideline for that. This has a lot to do with SAG-AFTRA, but there's a what's the word that I want to say? There's there's an overlap. There we go. An overlap when it comes to like commercial and that kind of thing. Okay. And so the idea is, and then of course, when it comes to client, I think this is going to be what will make the other already established unions be very happy with, that not only are they going to be have to show that they are franchised, so they would have to be accredited through these associations that Artist Gala USA would be developing, that would help to support and literally bring the industry together. So in other words, it's not even reinventing the wheel. It is actually putting in place what should have been in place, which is why things have been where they are and why there are very, very strong concerns when it comes to this kind of stuff. Okay. And then the last thing that Auto Scholar USA does is obviously community memberships and different memberships, period, and the convention and competition and pageants. Okay. So the reason for me to even bring Auto Scholar USA up into this is because one of the requirements of Fashionista Studios training agency is that you would want to participate in a showcase as well as a convention. And so the packages that I'm about to explain here are actually, and they can also be financed as well. But the packages that I'm going to be sharing with you honestly have a whole lot more to do with what you want, okay, as a new model. And so we have the bronze, silver, gold, elite, platinum, diamond, and the diamond plus. Basically, your bronze through elite is going to give you the basics, the basis for everything that you need within your photo shoot. The only difference is whether or not you want 6, 15, 20, or 25 photos. And they would be the ones that you would have edited, and then they would be sent digitally as well as a portfolio. And they are 450, 925, 1650, and 2150. Now, that pretty much just gives you a bunch of photos, that it doesn't give you any services. Because the services that we provide, a lot of this, and by the way, this is the whole reason behind this. What you're really doing is you're paying for the photo shoot, you're paying for the time in a studio, just like you would anywhere else, okay? And then, of course, whatever services that are inclusive to it, all right? Like, we're not asking you to go in there and actually pay per hour to our hair and makeup artist. So we already would pay them, and then they would just do what they can for however many models during that time, because of course you got 4 changes per model, 4 different looks, right? And then also don't forget too, there's only going to be the space of maybe 4 people per hour, and you're going to need at least 4 hours when it comes to the day of the photo shoot. Okay. And then we would then determine whether or not you are, oh, and that's the other thing I forgot to mention. Before any portfolio shoot that you would basically have, or even training, we do a quick 10-minute test shoot, and it's a $100 test shoot fee. But hear me out. It will either be refundable if we don't think that you are photogenic or have the skills to be a model, okay, or we don't think that you would be coachable. Okay, that's going to be very important as well. So you can get a refund 100%, or you would get it reimbursed towards your training fee, and then you can choose the package, because a training, we're not going to train someone that's not going to be trainable, okay, not be coachable, and doesn't even have the looks. I'm just going to be very flat out and honest. Now, mind you, if someone like me can make the cut in the modeling industry, and yes, I have done photo shoots. I literally just had one, okay, and I made the cut. So that's not to say that you may or may not. Okay, it just depends on what you're working with. What I need to know as a coach for you is whether or not you would be coachable and that you have enough that we would be able to do that no matter how good of an edit we do, it's still going to present who you are because you still have to show you. Okay. So the first step is really signing the form, right, on Fashionista Studios. So fashionista-studios.com. Fill out the form. We would then get the form. We would then ask for the $100 deposit, and we would give you a 10-minute quick photo jump. We can do it inside or outside. But the idea is that you're just going to dress casually and look your best, but very raw and don't have your hair all nappy and all of that. So all those instructions will actually be in the packet for the test shoot. Then once the test shoot is done, in about 3 business days, we will then be in contact with you to actually go ahead, and now you can skip this process. I do have to say that you can skip this process by simply sending some photo shoots that you think would be photogenic of you, but they would have to have been done within a week. So in other words, if you have a friend that's good with a phone camera or whatever, but at that point, we would just have a $50 submission fee so that we can take the time to do what we need to do to look to basically look at that. Because again, you're signing in for the training agency. You're not signing in to be booked with a booking agency. Okay, that's what we're talking about right now. Okay, so let's not get a modeling agency mixed up with a training agency. Okay. I do have a modeling agency, but it does come with, you got to have a resume. You got to have like several years of, like, I need to be able to see that you actually have modeled. Were you on a print, on a magazine? Did you do anything at all? Okay. Then I'll be able to sign you because then you would be bookable. What I'm talking about is a training agency. So you could either skip the $100 test shoot fee, and you can get a friend to do it because there are people that do not live in Chattanooga or Grand Rapids who want to participate in that, and we would provide them the opportunity to do so. Now, I'm not going to lie, we do ask that you sign up for Diamond or Diamond Plus in that case, because Diamond will give you a free model, basically a model boot camp. It's already fixed into the fee, okay, of what the plan is. So, and that plan is 4,500. So you would get like 40 selective from the photo shoot, okay, from your 4 changes or whatnot, but then you would also get a free, or it would be inclusive that you would also have a training boot camp, which then gives you more photos, okay, because like the whole idea is to get you in front of the camera as much as we can, but it's going to require the investment. You know what I mean? Now, there will, with this Diamond level membership, and once it's paid, it's done. Unless for some odd reason, like the one thing that you actually get is with the Diamond Plus, you get the free model boot camp, okay? But you also get 50 photos from your original portfolio shoot. And you also get a 50% Fashionista Studios course scholarship. Now, what is that? Well, what that is, we have a yearly program, and it's basically done in a year. You basically sign up with Fashionista Studios, and you will start at the beginner's level. You then will go to the emerging level and then the mastery level. During the emerging level or within that second level, you will have to start, you will have a comprehensive exam. And it requires you to do multiple choice, also vocal and action exams. The action exams would be like you actually walking down a runway. We may use different terms like slay the runway, just throwing stuff out there. And you basically have to take the action and do it, right? It also includes actions like poses. We might tell you hand over head pose with your knee up to your chin, whatever. Just I'm using it as an example. So you would need to know the different poses, okay? The multiple choice is basically more or less you answering questions industry related and making sure that you understand what you're expecting of you, okay? So that's what that is. And you also start practicum. Well, what is practicum? Well, we have agency to agency agreements where you would then sign with an actual agency for bookings, and you would have to have particular programming, okay, for that. So this will allow you to be booked while in training. Now, it's not guaranteed that it would be paid, but at the same token, no booking agency that has an agency to agency agreement with Fashionista Studios is going to want to just book you for free jobs, okay? Because then they would, that agency, it, you know. But you may start off where the jobs may not pay as well as what you want them to be. And so that's just the reality of it, okay? Until you get into the mastery level, and then at that point your practicums require you to do showcases, runway shows, competition. You will end up participating in Artist Gala USA for those of you that would be a Fashionista Studio student. But that tuition for that year is $12,000. Okay, and you get all of your training in it, and this is for all ages between the ages of 5 years old to 17, and then ages 18 to 35. Okay, if you're in college, well, see, I'll answer this question just real quick, but I have to be off of here. If you're in college, I do know that if you're in school, whether it's elementary, high school, junior high, whatever the case may be, this would be treated more as an extracurricular. Okay, so for you guys, it's very easy. You would have evening classes about 3 times a week. Okay, for those that are adults, okay, and you're in college where you have a job, we kind of have to, some of the stuff we can actually do online, and that will be good. But when it comes to actually runway training and that, you would have to come in on the weekend. Okay, and you would have to do that, and it would literally be like 8 hours on a Sunday. Okay, for like 12 Sundays or something like that, because I think each one, well, the beginners is the shorter. So the emerging one is actually 16 weeks, and the last one is 24 weeks, and that's the mastery level. Okay, for that would be 24 weeks. And of course, your practicums are simultaneous, and your exams would be done after the 24 weeks and after the 16 weeks. Okay, so in the 17th week is when you would actually have to do the prompter exams. And then at the end, and on the 25th week, you would have to do. So it's a little bit, I want to say it's a little bit over a year, but we put it into a year. Okay? So your tuition is literally just going to be for 1 year. But if you have the Diamond Plus, you get a 50% Fashionista Studios scholarship. So then you're already at 6,000 off of the tuition. And then we do accept scholarships and things like that. We are not accredited as of yet, okay, for accreditation purposes of federal monies. But and if you're at the diamond level, then you are responsible for the full tuition, but you can at least get a free um, model boot camp, which is $1,695 when you do the boot camp anyway. And you can pick any city of your choice. And I believe one's coming up in September in Miami. Okay. So your room and board and all that will be covered, and your training materials and stuff. What won't be included is the editing for portfolios and your actual portfolio. But the portfolio shoots and all that has already been done with the 1695. All right. So hopefully this wasn't too confusing for anybody. And I know that you were probably expecting me to do a read tonight. I will be doing reads tomorrow night, though. I'm actually going to be doing two elements tomorrow. And then if there is some time, I may actually do that one download that I was talking about. One quick thing that I want to share with you, and this is for anybody. The actual costs is mind blowing, but we would be departing from the Chattanooga airport at 8 a.m. on the specific days. So the one that I'm going to be talking about right now is the Grand Canyon, Las Vegas, and the Hoover Dam. It's 13 days, 12 nights. Your transportation, except for how you get to Chattanooga, is not going to be taken care of. But once you're on the bus, your transportation, room and board, meals to a specific amount. This is what is included: the motor coach, transportation, 12 nights lodging, including 3 consecutive nights in a Las Vegas casino hotel, 17 meals, 9 breakfasts, and 8 dinners, gaming and sightseeing on the famous Las Vegas Strip, free day to shop, explore, and discover Las Vegas, admission to the Hoover Dam Visitor Center, visit Grand Canyon National Park, including an IMAX Grand Canyon movie, visit to magnificent Petrified Forest National Park, and a guided tour of historic Boulder City, and a stop at the Lake Mead Overlook. Um, it is 2205 for this vacation package with Diamond Tour. Since it's my group that is going, I'm gonna try to post this up, if not tonight, at some point tomorrow. Okay, well, later today, should I say. And then one last one is the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Key West, Florida. It includes the motor coach transportation, 6 nights lodging, including 4 consecutive nights in the Miami area, 9 meals, 6 breakfasts, and 3 dinners. Full-day guided tour of Miami, admission to enchanting Coral Castle, a visit to the exciting island city of Key West, enjoy a sightseeing cruise down the Venus of America, free time and shopping in beautiful and famous South Beach, and visit to the oceanfront Hollywood Beach Boardwalk. Okay, and that package is $1,180. Um, and the price is per person based on double occupancy. $75 is due upon signing, and add $349 for the Miami trip if it's a single person occupancy, or add $618 for the Hoover Dam and Grand Canyon trip. Okay, so that's the information that I have as of right now. If there's anything else, I will update you, and I will put this in the community page so that you can see it for yourself. And I'll also send a link to the retreat as well if you guys are interested, especially if you are a spiritual healer or whatnot, and you are looking to build your business the within the realms of your spiritual work. Okay, these are gonna be trainings from the elite within the business. This is not just a random person that is a spokesperson, okay, or whatnot. So, and I think the retreat would be an awesome fit for pretty much anybody, really. Um, I'll tell you more about that later, but until next time, have a blessed evening. Love and peace to you. And that is all of my announcements for tonight.